Welcome to a round with the Bionic Foursome. Randy here is sporting a new shoulder. Steve, who you've met on the channel before, is sporting a new hip. And Jonas here plays better on one leg than almost anybody else does on two. As for yours truly, I'm rocking the new liver. And this is a great time for you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm playing a 3-round tournament over the weekend, and all 3 rounds will be uploaded to the channel. Today's our one warm-up round at Langara, playing it from the same yardage we'll be playing it at on Friday in the tournament. It took a breakfast ball before I was able to get one out in the fairway, and I'll be sure to hit less than driver on this hole on Friday. Inside 100 yards, I get one to about 20 feet above the hole here, and I respect the downhiller a bit too much before tidying up for par. One of my first rounds ever uploaded to the channel began with this exact same shot on the second hole, and pretty much this exact same chip. I'll be inside 10 feet to tidy this one up for par, but it doesn't quite drop and I'll settle for bogey. This was a bit of a slappy fade on the uphill par 5. And with the ball above my feet here, I wind up in one of the worst spots possible, 60 yards in a bunker from the green. Fortunately for me, I proceed to hit my best shot of the day before making a very unexpected birdie. For a short track, Langara has a few tough long par 4s, and this is one of them. And after a good drive, I fail to get through my second shot here. So I'll be trying to get up and down from about 40 yards right of the pin. This was a good pitch, but didn't quite release as much as I thought. And I missed the par putt a bit high before tapping in for bogey. This hole demands a draw around the trees on the left, and I start the ball a bit too far to the right and am forced to punch out of the trees. Once again, we're pitching from about 40 yards. We get it close again, and this time we do indeed make the up and down. The landing areas are a bit tighter than they might appear on camera, and I was actually thrilled to get this one inside 100 yards and with a good look at the pin. I miss below the hole, and with about 35 feet uphill here, I give it a good whack. It bounces over the hole and just past, and I will make the par. This is another long par 4, and I'm really trying to get all of this drive, and I push it up the right without it drawing back. That was me trying to get my way out of that spot with the hybrid. And from 140, I hit basically the same shot I hit on the last long par 4. And whoa, I'm just determined to make a huge number here. Now I'm trying to get up and down from over the back of the green for double. And you can't make every 10-footer at him. And that's a frustrating triple. This one was right on the number, and this putt was right in the jaws, but just not quite hard enough. Course knowledge time. Do not hit driver on this hole on Friday. There is absolutely no reason to be hitting this club on a 320-yard hole. And look how the mistakes start to compound here. That's the worst wedge shot imaginable. But this is fun, about a 150-foot putt from another green. It gets stuck in the fringe of our green, so I'll still have about a 20-foot downhill breaker. Not too fantastic. And I'm going to close the front 9 5 over on the last 3 holes. Pretty much everything was mediocre, and unfortunately, on the last 2 par 4s, I made some huge brain farts that compounded into big ugly scores. Looking for positive takeaways from this round, I did manage to find my driver, particularly on the back 9. This is another one that I get to around 100 yards. And the course knowledge from my playing partners is always be below the hole here. And that's another one that was close, and I'll settle for par. My usual draw with driver wasn't quite coming out today, so there were a few times, including this one, that I did push it a bit up the right. But I was able to get a hybrid here and knock it back to a decent spot. And there's a ridge running through the middle of this green that I land right on top of, and the ball does release towards the hole. But I fail to properly read the downhiller and make another par. How's that for a bad golf shot? How's this for a bad pitch when I was short-sighted? There's the good shot we've been waiting for. And we will take a 4 on this hole and run. I finally decide to start playing smart golf here and leave the driver in the bag. And even though I totally missed a hybrid, I still had a pretty decent number in. It misses in a really awkward spot here, and check out the movement on this putt. Right up the ridge, left down the ridge, and I was hoping this would leave me about 6 feet, but I'll have a bit more work than that. And it's frustrating, but at least we did manage to limit the damage by making the right decision off the tee. My partners decided to give me that one. This one's right at the flag and lands on an upslope and rolls back a few feet. And I think getting in a groove of making pars is going to be important if I'm going to play well here on Friday. But I failed to do that here because of this horrendous golf shot, followed by this horrendous golf shot. Maybe I should have just grabbed a putter the first time, I'm not sure. And we'll run with another bogey. This is another good drive up the right that doesn't quite draw back, but will leave us in a decent spot. And I was afraid of the bunker short left of the green here, and hit a big push that I was fortunate to get away with, before yet another miserable wedge. This is a pretty tough 35-footer. And in addition to finding a steady enough driver, at least I was making most of the 4 and 5 footers today. There's my best drive of the day. It's about 250 up this hill in the cold and the wet towards the end of the day. And I'm happy to get this one to the front of the green and finally make a pretty straightforward fairway in regulation, green in regulation, 2-putt par. Despite all the ugly shots, I still had a chance of breaking 80 if I could find a birdie here, and I was trying to do a few too many things with that driver, and leave myself in an ugly spot where I chunk one. And yet another 40-yard pitch, and this one weirdly gets stuck on a downslope, and I roll the par putt just a bit past, and make a bogey. That's not a great score or a great differential by my standards, but a takeaway here is that about a quarter of my shots today were god-awful golf shots. So if I can do that and shoot 81, I'm hoping that I can reel it in the tournament, make some better decisions, and hope to break 80 out here. Please do follow along and subscribe. And if we're lucky, we'll have good results on the weekend.